Hello, and thank you to the members. So I'm just going to let this run for a sec. Thank you so much for joining the I Bring It Every Day channel. I really appreciate actually the subscribers and the members. And feel free to push the subscribe button if you like what you see. These are people that have been supporting the channel for a very long time, and I just want to express my gratitude to all of those people. And a special thanks to Bela the dog. And I'm by myself today, so we'll see what happens here. And thank you so much for the 2.7K subscribers. It's been awesome. All right, now let's see if this works. Okay, there we go. All right, I saw an eyeball. This is I Bring It Every Day. My name is Kelly, and I do a little bit of knitting and crocheting, little cooking as well. So I'm starting a baby blanket, and I am really in a crunch time. So these are circular knitting needles. I started to cast this on, but I'm really starting this from scratch. So I only have a few minutes, but I figure I'm going to try to get this started. I started doing this the other day, and boy, this was a nightmare. But these are circular needles. This is a size, I believe it's a size 6 yarn, which is really, really bulky. And you can see that there. But anyway, my friend Bela's not feeling well today, so I figure I'll stop on for a couple of minutes and see what I can do to sort of get some of this started here. So I have a baby blanket. I have a friend who had a baby, and I'm trying to see if I can knock something out. But I wanted to try this yarn. It's a little bit splitty, so I think I'm just gonna do a little swatch today and see how this works. I don't know. This is gonna be interesting. All right, here we go. So, but anyway, thanks for coming in. All right, now, so I cast on these stitches, and these not well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to start again. Yeah, this yarn is a little bit fiddly, so I'm just going to. So these are circular needles, and they're I forget how many inches this is. Don't know. I think it's about a 16-inch. But I'm just going to take this off. It's just easier, and then we'll start again here. But I don't know if you guys are into knitting. But a circular needle means you can either knit in a line or you can knit in the round. Now, I'm not going to knit in the round because I'm going to make a rectangle blanket. And these are adjustable, and I do not recommend these at all. I recommend the fixed. And you're supposed to put a little lock in there. I'll have to grab it. I don't know. I never know where it is. So anyway, that's the deal. So I'm just going to put a few stitches on here and then just see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Gonna be interesting. But yeah, you can, I don't know if you can see this, but it's already splitting. Now, this is one of those massive cakes that I got a few years ago, and I have quite a bit of it left over. So I'm just gonna do the boring cast on here. Let me just give myself a little more of a tail. So this is a slip knot here. Okay. And I don't know how many stitches I'm going to cast on. We'll figure this out together. Okay, here goes. So I'm just putting the stitches onto the needle, casting on. And I have to give my hands a little bit of a rest. And if you guys crochet, you understand why you have to do that. Because it really works your hands. So, but I'm going to see how this looks. I'm going to do a little swatch. And if it looks okay, I'm going to continue. That's about, I don't know how many stitches. Didn't count. But I'll just do a few. All right. And let's see. There's 18 stitches. All right, so this will be more of a swatch. All right, and I'm just going to do probably garter stitch. Okay. But I know there's a lot of people on the YouTubes. I appreciate you popping in, but please hit the like button if you work with me. But this is real stuff, real time, no editing and all that stuff. But anyway, but I'm going to knit a little swatch and just see how this goes here. Oh, we got Outlaw Creative. Hey, and Elvita, you're good at that. Oh, thank you. Well, this is many years. I think I was about 10 years old when I started doing all this stuff. And so now I sort of do it in my sleep. And that's how good you want to be, like when you do anything in life, where you can do it without you know, thinking too much. That's when you're proficient. When you can do it almost in your sleep. Let's see. I'm okay. I don't know in about a half an hour. Oh my. Are you feeling sick? I know there's a lot of coughing going on. Everybody's coughing around me, and I'm just like, bleh, get away from me. Trying to stay away from the situation. How are the doggies? Hopefully the doggies are okay. And how many do you have left? I lost track. Yeah. But these are plastic needles here, and they're pretty large. I forget what size they are. I'll tell you as soon as I finish the row. Yeah. So there it is. But thank you for coming in, y'all, everybody. Appreciate you. So, do you do any yarn work, Elvita? You've been crocheting longer. Well, you know what's funny? No, actually, I started knitting first, and then I jumped on crochet. See, the thing with crochet, and it's literally a I don't know how to. It's sort of a rabbit hole because what happens is knitting takes longer, because it's a little bit slower for most people. But I mean, there's speed knitters. I'm not one of them. I'm okay. But I learned knitting first, and the dogs are right. Oh, depression. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, sorry to hear that. Yeah, hopefully, get outside and get some of that vitamin D outside the sun. I heard that helps. And then they were talking about years ago getting sun lamps. I forget what kind, but I used to call on this doctor who was really into, well, was a, psychiatrist. He was a mental health person. And he invented the seasonal affective disorder thing. And, but anyway, his theory was if you, like in the wintertime when most people do get depressed, he was recommending, getting more sunlight. And he was trying to manufacture some kind of a lamp. I don't know if he ever did, but that was his thing. And I remember going, there might be something to that. I don't know. But see, I've never really, I don't say, I haven't been, clinically diagnosed or anything. So, and I'm not a doctor, but it's interesting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see, Alyssa. Hello. Good to see you. I love the thumbs ups. Thank you so much. Yeah, I only got a few minutes. I have to go out and do some chores, but anyway, we'll get Bila together, and we'll come back and we'll finish the other hat that we were working on. But yeah, that does help. And there's the bud files. Hello, welcome in, and thanks for coming in, everybody. I'm just working the few minutes of knitting here, but I actually learned to knit first, and then I crocheted later. But crochet is really fast, and I think what happens is, um, you get seduced by the speed, and then but when you knit, it's definitely much slower, and so that's why I think more people crochet. I think because of the speed. But this is a pretty heavy yarn, so I think it is looking pretty good. I'm just checking my tension. I'm making a swatch. They usually say to check out the yarn. Oh, Dr. Kelly. I know I've seen a lot of medical stuff up close. You know what I mean? I feel like I should have been. Now, this needle is how many millimeters? Gosh, my brain. Let's see. This is a 10 millimeter, size 15 USA. Wow. It's a big one. Yeah. But he was interesting. I like talking to doctors because they have big brains. I just go, what? How do you do that thing? You know what I'm asking people? Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, could be. Yes. A vitamin D, you have some pills. Interesting. Now you can do that. Oh, hi Vivian. Sorry I missed you. Good to see you. Yeah, so pills are okay, but remember when you take a pill, it has to go through your bloodstream. So there's like a delay. You know what I mean? So I think it's easier sometimes if you just, go outside. The sun's right there. It's like no pills. You get, a little bit of sunlight. Your skin makes vitamin D, and allegedly that helps, depression. But like I said, not a doctor, but what I hear, smart people have told me. Yes, good to see you, Vivian. Yeah, those are plastic, maybe resin. Yeah. So these are not, I mean, they're okay. I think they're okay for acrylic yarn, which is what this is, I believe. And they're, yeah, they're floating through this pretty good. So that's what I was concerned about. How are these needles going to flow through the yarn? Because that's really what makes or breaks your project. You might lose your mind if they're going too slowly or if they get caught. Because, like, there's bamboo and there's stainless steel. They make needles and hooks out of a lot of stuff. And I just think whatever one flows through the yarn is the fastest is helpful. So that's 2 rows. So I'm just doing, they call this the garter stitch, and it's got this little bumpy situation, but that's not bad. And it seems like it's tight enough. Okay, I'm very happy. So this was the test. I wanted to test out this yarn and see how it is. Because I've had this many years now. And I just wanted to fit. Oh, I'm reading maybe medical stuff only. Oh, you like reading medical stuff? Yep. Yeah, medical stuff is interesting. And see, that's the thing. It's funny, I never thought I like medicine, but I didn't want to work in medicine, because there's a whole thing with medicine. Medicine's tough, especially if your patients, don't make it. Like that for me, that was the hardest part. I couldn't do that. But I like the idea of being able to help somebody, with a procedure or something. And usually, and a lot of times people go, "Oh yeah, I forgot to do that," or "Yeah, I do need to get more sleep," or something else. Sometimes watch YouTube medical videos. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched any on YouTube. That's ironic, but I do see documentaries. And when I worked in a hospital for a minute, not long, but or I volunteered. No, I did work too. Yeah, I volunteered and work, and I got to see some procedures. And this was before HIPAA. It was pretty cool. Yes. Star Lover, what are you knitting? Hello. Yeah, this is just a swatch. I had this yarn left over. I'm trying to make a baby blanket, but I was afraid that this was gonna be too loose, kind of loose. But because I crocheted whatever I made with this last time, so I'm just testing it out to see what the stitches look like and checking my tension. And this is something that a lot of people, if you're making a project, it's a good thing to do. They usually say 4 inches. You do 4 inches by 4 inches, or what? I don't know how many millimeters that is, but you make a square, and you can kind of see, because usually there's what they call gauge, and most patterns will say you need to have X number of stitches per inch or by 4 inches in USA. But yeah, some doctors will give patients the right information. Sometimes, well, yeah, it happens. I mean, that is true. I mean, well, see, and then remember, you got to remember, just like with people, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but I always say there's smart people and there's not so smart people, and there's also the same thing with doctors. Some of them are like, like there's an art to medicine. So some people just do the textbook and they don't think broader. And you want a doctor that, in my opinion, that thinks a little more broadly, that they don't just have a blinder. I'm not saying they should be so open that they try weird stuff, but I think they should keep their minds open for possibilities. Because usually the first thing may or may not work, and then you have to go and try something else. So they have to be open for that. And I noticed that some people are more open and some people are not. And I'm saying, and you have to be smart enough to do your research and really remember all that stuff, because you have to have a photographic memory to be a doctor. And a lot of that, I don't think most people have that. Oh, you just started making a crochet dino. Oh, nice. Or dino. Nice. And there's Shatika. Good to see you. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. See, my amigurumi, I'm still sort of working on that. Actually, I did a couple now, so I'm feeling more confident. But I am not as big into amigurumi. As a lot of people on YouTube. That seems to be the hot thing. But I do a little bit of everything. But I like the amigurumi. Whenever you pull it together, it's so nice. It's the sewing part at the end that's always scary. Very scary. Yeah, very scary. But that's the part, like, you really have to put yourself together. Take your time, sew it, Make sure all the legs and eyes line up so they don't have crazy eyes. But yeah, this is gonna be okay. And you see, I just did three quick. This is only like 20 stitches or 18 stitches, so that's actually a nice size. Oh, there's Miss Sonia. Hey, you know you're crafting Kelly crochet. Oh, you know you're crafting Kelly crocheting or knitting. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, when you do it for a while, it comes a lot easier. And okay, Miss Sonia's here. Sonia Creations, welcome in, welcome in. Saying hi to everyone in the chat. How's work going? Hopefully it's okay. I'm making a little swatch, but I think this is gonna work. I need a quick baby blanket. And I have this this is anniversary cakes from Michael's. And I'm not sponsored, but Michael's holler at me. And so so um it's this is like a 6. It's huge. It's like a jumbo. They call it like a jumbo yarn. And that's why this is getting so big so fast. So I was just trying this out for attention, just to see what I look like. And what are you up to, Miss Sonia? Anything good? You do a good job. Haven't bought any of your stuff. I have not sold any. That's the thing. See, I need to get off my tail and like make some stuff. I have some hats, but the hats to me are like, I mean, I mean, hats are good. Don't get me wrong. I donated some, but I have some more I have to work on actually. Yeah. Oh, work is great. Just really busy right now. I haven't been able to do anything on YouTube. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm even, I'm trying to, well, anyway, I have a tutorial coming. As soon as this thing processes, probably late tonight, tomorrow. I'm just going to put it out there, but it's for one of the granny squares. So you'll see that coming. And oh, I had more money, I would buy stuff like that. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. This is very pricey. Now, the only thing is, Junior, you should check out, like, there's always local yarn groups at the library. And my library group just got 2 huge donations in the last month. And I missed the one. I mean, I'm glad I didn't really need the donation. Trust me, I'm good. but but I just said, I'm going to try. I was just looking at some of the stuff that they have, and I don't know if someone passed away, but they donated like a boatload of stuff yesterday, and it had to be what was left was like 300 skeins. So, oh, you have a project for me, a sweater? Yes, I know. I'm really wanting to do a sweater, and the only problem with the sweater, and like I said, for me, it's my ADD, like I want it now, or whatever that is. Whatever the I want it now syndrome is. Yeah. So, but sweaters do take a minute. But I think if I use this thick yarn, it would probably come through. It would probably be finished. I'd probably be able to finish this in a weekend because you see how fast this row grew. I mean, this is only, I don't know how many rows I just did. But yeah, sweaters are great. Yeah, they really are good. And if you can do it, I mean, that's what started me knitting is I wanted a nice sweater. It costs like $500 and I was like, not doing that. And I didn't have it even, at the time. I was a kid. So I said, let me see how much it costs to make it. And at the time, I think I paid probably $60. And that was a lot. You know what I mean? And it took a minute. Yes. You haven't seen anything like that advertised. Maybe only in some town. Yeah. See, I don't know how small of a town, but if you go to library groups, oh my gosh, they usually have them in the library. And it's always like, I noticed that they're all on Wednesday nights. I don't know why. I just wish they would move them to another day. But my group that I go to most frequently is on Wednesday. Actually, the 2 groups that I'm able to go to are on Wednesday. And I'm just like, can't go to all 3. You know what I mean? You can't go to both. It's terrible. But that's the situation. Yeah, you know what I mean? But anyway, what happens is people give away yarn and stuff. And you might be surprised that a lot of times it's free. And a lot of because a lot of people overbuy, a lot of these craft supplies. So it's kind of amazing. Oh, Armani sweater. Yeah, it wasn't quite an Armani sweater, but it was one of those. Have you ever seen the ones from Scandinavia? I forget they call them. They used to be called Lopi, Lopi, but I think there's another name for them. But they usually have a collar at the top, and it's really brightly like intricate designs. And then they're usually, they're usually pretty neutral most times. And they're made out of like natural yarn. So you'll see there'll be beige and there'll be browns and stuff like that. They're really nice. But yeah, sweaters used to be cheap. Yeah, they're not cheap anymore. And hey, there's the Zach. The Zach is here. Hey, Zach. Hey, Kelly, can't stay. Oh, thanks for coming in. Yeah, off to Walmart for more hoodies. Yes, it's cold. Yeah, I tell you what, I would love to make a hoodie. I made one hoodie for my daughter, and it's too small now. I'm like, so I may take it apart and see if I can add to it somehow. But I crocheted it. It was pretty nice. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, it depends. And also, check the thrift stores, Junior. I'm telling you, we have one thrift store, not Goodwill, but it's a religious thrift store. Those are the ones where you can get really nice clothing for for next to nothing. We have a couple religious stores nearby, and yesterday I just sort of walked through just to you know eyeball stuff, and they had gorgeous sweaters. Now I don't need. I mean, I could use a couple sweaters. I need more tops than anything. But I got about 5 pairs of jeans 6 months ago because like all my jeans were looking kind of tacky. So I decided to you know get some new ones, and I was really happy I did that. But anyway, now that I've gotten some jeans, I think I paid maybe $20, and I got 4 pairs. Like they were like $5 a piece, and then the sweaters were a little bit more. They might have been 6 or 7 in the men's section. But I said, and they were barely worn. And that's what I'm noticing. I think people, I don't know if people are still doing it, but people don't really they buy more clothing than they wear, I think, just based on what I saw. Yep. Let me see. Turn that over there. It's 39 here. Brr. Brr. That's terrible. When's the last time I went to Walmart for yarn? Actually, I was in Walmart on Monday, a couple days ago. And, I mean, Walmart's prices are okay, and you could buy their brand is Mainstays. It's pretty nice, and it's $2.89 or something. It's a little under $3 a skein, and probably for a sweater, you would need how many skeins? About 3,000 yards, and I think you get about 300 yards. You need between 7, 8, or 10 of them, depending on how big you are, and which is really, about $30 for a sweater. And then it would fit you, it would totally fit you. All right, what's going on here? I got a hole. Not a hole, but a knot. Yeah, but 39's cold. 39 is cold. Yes. But anyway, thank you guys for coming in. Let's see. Oh, my husband, he'll be home. I got about 8 minutes, probably. That's good. But like I said, I was just doing, and this is a good, a swatch. See, I'm making a baby blanket. So what happens is you don't want to have too many holes. And I have to decide if I want to, this is a garter stitch. I have to decide if I want to continue with the garter stitch or do the stockinette. I don't know. And stockinette is, do I have a sweater? Stockinette is like the smooth side of a sock, and then the inside is like this. And, but I know I need to probably make these stitches a little tighter. Because see, baby blankets, you just don't want to do holes. That's the thing. Got to be very careful. And there's Tisharia. Hey, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, what's the temperature down there? I know you said it was cold yesterday. I was like, ugh. Texas is usually warm. Red Heart, amazing mixed colors. Yeah, they have a lot. And in fact, Red Heart, I know I can tell you, Red Heart was $3.77 in my Walmart. And the Mainstays was a little under, like maybe it was 50 cents less. So it might have been $2.89 or $2.90. I don't know. It was like a weird number. But, it's pretty inexpensive, and you can get a few skeins. And like I said, I think a skein would give you a hat, maybe a couple hats. For a sweater, you would have to do like about 33,000 yards, 3,200 yards. And that's like a medium weight yarn, something like that. But that's what you would need. Hang on. Okay. Stop. Yeah, there we go. I just lost the chat. How's the quality? Well, Red Heart is, I don't know if you've noticed, but Red Heart's been around for 80 years, they said. So it's okay. See, my thing is, so here's the deal. For so acrylic yarn, sometimes it gets a little fuzzy. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to show you this. I bought this from the thrift store, and I was trying to decide what to do with this thing. Let me see if I can stick this under here. But I'll show you what acrylic can do. So you see this? I like the colors in this, and I wanted to just borrow the color, so I bought this. But I don't know if you can see right here. There's a little bit of it's pilling, and that's what they talk about. Like acrylic yarn can pill. I don't know if you see that. See a little fiber came off there. That's what it does sometimes in the wash. See, I don't know if you can see this red part or this, but acrylic can pill, and that's why I wouldn't make it for a wearable because it's gonna pill. And see there's a little bit of pilling, but you see these beautiful colors. And this is a granny square, and I don't know how many they put together, but I just like the colors, so I wanted to just borrow the colors. You know what I mean? And I think this might be Red Heart, but I don't know. It's funny. The see, back in the day, you used to be able to buy yarn at all of the stores. So like Kmart had theirs, and Sears had theirs, and blah blah blah. And there were all these, there were like tons of yarn companies. And now, you're basically down to Red Heart, or you could get the Bernat or Bernay. They call it Value. So they have that. But the nice one, if you have a Michaels near you, is called Craft Smart Value, and that one is actually pretty decent. And it's a little bit more. I think it's $3.99 a skein. It's a couple cents more than Red Heart at Walmart, but it's a little softer. Like this stuff, I can tell this was made in the 70s. It's a little bit, yeah, looks good except for that. See, and that's tragic because I don't know how old it is. You know what I mean? This could be 30 years old, 40. I don't know. I have no idea, but I thought it was nice. So I said, I'm going to steal these colors or borrow and see what happens from there. You know what I mean? And I like that little granny style too. Yeah. So I like to sort of, check out those things. Yep. A lot of these stores are dying off. You don't like, I know it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, I had some yarn from Kmart. So this lady passed away and left all this yarn to my yarn group. And a lot of it was from Sears. A lot of it was from Kmart. And I don't know who made their yarn or if it was another company, but it was all acrylic, and some of it was, the funky 70s and 80s color. And, but it was a little on the thinner side, and that's the thing. You got to make sure that you want to, whatever you pick, you want to make sure you do relatively decent quality if you're going to make something that you're going to wear other than a hat. You know what I mean? Because it will pill. And I'll tell you, this lady in my crochet group bought this fancy yarn from like a yarn store, paid, big money, made this, took her 8 months or almost a year to make a sweater, made the sweater, washed it, and it pilled. And I just went, no. And she went, yeah, that's what happened. She was very sad. And I don't think she's worn it. I haven't seen that sweater since she made it. And that's been, yeah, a minute. So the poor lady, I felt bad for her, because that is, like when you put in all this time, you don't want to, you want it to look decent for a minute. You know what I mean? You don't want it to fall apart. So that's it. But that's crazy. So, like I said, what I'm going to do is, oh, what about cotton? So wool is better, in my opinion. Like wool lasts, as long as you don't shrink it, in the washing machine, because wool sometimes can shrink, and cotton tends to stretch, which is interesting, but it's really nice. Let me see. Do I have any cotton nearby? Yeah, I'll show you some cotton real quick here. Hang on a sec. I had a whole bag of cotton, and of course I put it away. But hang on, let me see if I have some cotton. Oh, no, I don't. I thought I had some nearby. But cotton's nice because it's a natural fiber. It breathes. Yeah, I thought I had some nearby. Of course I don't. And Walmart has the cotton. You can buy it in there. They have some fancy cotton and some cheap cotton. And the cheap cotton, they say to use it for washcloths or dishcloths. And it comes on a cone, and you'll see it there in the store. Then the more expensive cotton is in I forget what it's called, Mainstays too, and it's a little softer. And it almost looks like a football, but it's a cute little, and the colors are real bright. But cotton colors can fade when you wash them, so you got to be careful. Yep. What type of yarn are you using? So this one here is this is acrylic, and it's like a real thick jumbo acrylic, and that's what it looks like. Yep. Okay. Oh, he's ready to go. And this is like a baby pink color. Yep. So that's why I said I figure I'll use this, and then if that works out, then it'll go. It'll go well. All right. So anyway, I'll show you what I've done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. So this is just a little swatch, and then that way you can sort of know. And this changes color. So this is the lighter color, but there's like an orange after this, and then it goes orange and then pink. So this is sort of a salmon, then it goes orange and then pink. And I forget what the other color is, but that's how it goes. But this is a good way to learn how to make a swatch. And then you sort of know if your stitches are too tight or too loose. And then before you even start your project, because you don't want to get too far in your project and then realize it might be too small or too big. You know what I mean? But that looks great. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's a great color. And if you look on my shorts, I think I have a short somewhere buried in there. I made a big scarf with it, one of those ones that go down to the ground. And I still had a bunch of this left because these had like 800 or 900 yards in these balls when I bought them, and they're really funny because they're huge. Yeah, but that's what you do just to see how it looks out, and then you can get a smaller needle or a smaller hook, and then if you wanted the stitches more tight, or if you wanted them bigger with more holes, you can use a bigger needle, and that's how you sort of gauge what you're looking at. Yeah, so it's interesting. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that for a minute. But I have to dip off. But thank you so much for coming in. And yeah, this is giving me an idea of how big I need to make this. But I'm gonna make this. It's gonna be like a 36 by 36 baby blanket. Is what my plan is to get it there. So that's it. All right. Well, anyway, but listen, have a great day. We'll see you all soon, and hopefully I'll have Jane with me. Coming in later. But yeah, we'll talk more, Junior, about if you want to get into some crochet or knit, let me know. We can work that for you. But yeah, I made about 35 minutes. This is awesome. All right now. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna play out to Drizzle Stank. Thanks, Drizzle, wherever you are. And peace and love to everybody. And make something pretty. It's fun. It's therapeutic. I really think it's therapeutic. All right now. So here we go. And peace and love. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.